Hi, folks. Cliff from Talking Pondo here. I want to give you a quick warning about the upcoming episode. We do talk about the movie in quite a bit of detail, plot points, and so on, so there will be spoilers. And just fair warning, there is some adult language every now and then, so I just want to give you a heads up on that. Also, you can watch our latest film trilogy, Writing Frenzy, Revenge of Zoe, and The Love Song of William H. Shaw. Those are available on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Fossum, Hoopla, and Zumo. So get out there and give them a watch. I hope you enjoy the episode. Thanks for listening.
Nick Rivers is the inspiration for Nick Levine, at least the name. That's where I pulled Nick from for our script about the fictional writer, because I was quite obsessed with this film around the time we wrote Comic Book Diaries. This movie got back on my radar about 20 years ago. I hadn't watched it for a long time, and the guys that we were making marijuanos with were really into it, and I started watching it and getting really into it. And so every time we seem to start a production up, Top Secret shows up on the TV somehow. So maybe it's showing up on the show here is announcing that we're getting ready to do something again. Welcome to Season 3 of Talking Pondo. Talking Pondo is a podcast where Cliff and Marty give each other a film to watch and talk about them in detail. Some episodes will include a special guest.
All right, Marty, we're back.
We're back. It's Talking Pondo with guest once again. Here we are in the middle of August. Yes, I did the math, so I know when these episodes are dropping.
Definitely not August.
Starting to feel like it there. But yeah, we're back with two more movies and a guest. We'll reveal the guest here in a second. But what are the two movies? The two movies are a first for us. We've never really done a double header like this before, where both movies had the same lead actor before. So as you all were discussing before, it really does kind of make this Talking Kilmer, because we were going to have a Talking Matthau episode where we talk about Walter Matthau movies. This just happened to happen first. So I guess that's what today is. Let's start at the beginning. Top Secret and Real Genius. I think it's like the first two movies of his career. And the guest today is Cliff Campbell. Well, we know he's here. But the real guest is Drew Kallen-Keck is back once again, our first guest in the format. Hello.
Excellent. But yes, those were we were going to do Top Secret and Hot Shots, but then Val Kilmer passed away right before we started recording, and I suggested maybe we go back to doing Real Genius, because it's such a great movie, and I like both of these movies a lot. But after watching them again, I think Real Genius is probably the better of the two, as far as the plot goes.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
Which
I from what I was reading about interviews with the Zucker brothers and such for Top Secret, they would agree with you on that.
Yeah, they were affected by the box office. Years later, people were like, "No, it's you did make a funny, good film." They're like, "Really?" It's like, no, they're just like, "Oh yeah, but it was just kind of a mess, wasn't it?"
Yeah, and those 2 years were really, I mean, there was so much stuff coming out in '84 and '85.
Oh yeah,
'85 especially has like so many good movies in it that they were up against a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
And Top Secret had a weird ad campaign, not to get started or anything, but it's a poster of the cow wearing the boots. It doesn't really tell you what the movie is, even though it's an important part.
That's the most iconic shot in the movie.
It is true, though.
Is the cow walking around with the boots. And I guess we should just jump into Top Secret since we're talking about it.
Okay, well, I want to do our viewer mail segment real quick. Yes, we got response once again on the Changeling Shining episode. You might remember from a few months back with Ben Hassler guesting. Basically, somebody just wrote in, this Cassie person writes in to say, "The Changeling is my very favorite scary movie." And another person, Allison, says she enjoyed it as well. So I guess The Changeling does have its fans out there.
With for good reason. I think I scored it a 3.5, and I think you scored it a 3. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like its kind of old school horror creepiness, and
Yeah.
very interesting to watch that and The Shining and talk about them, because one's more like modern art horror and the other one's kind of that old school type of, kind of creepy horror.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very different, but also made kind of around the same time. So,
Yeah.
well, anyways, thanks for commenting and keep commenting, keep listening.
So this week we go back to the 80s again with our first movie. Let's go chronological as we are wont to do around here. Is it the 80s, World War II, or an Elvis 50s beach movie? What is top?
It's neither. It's this fucking here. Let me read it to you. Okay, I'll just read you the log line. Here we go. So I'll leave you the log line of the storyline. Here's your log line. Top secret, 1984, PG, an hour and a half. An American rock and roll singer is invited to a cultural festival in East Germany in order to distract from a plot to destroy NATO submarines, but he accidentally becomes involved in a resistance plot to rescue an imprisoned scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that
makes perfect sense.
Completely. Your storyline. This time, Zucker and Abrams are spoofing most notably Elvis films and World War II spy movies. Val Kilmer stars as Nick Rivers, a handsome American 50s-style rock and roll singer. While performing in East Germany, he falls in love with a beautiful heroine, played by Lucy Gutteridge, and becomes involved with the French Resistance. So right away, like, that's my biggest problem with this movie, is that it's fucking all over the place. It's like Mel Brooks sticking Nazis into History of the World Part 1 just because he's got to have Nazis in the movie, right?
Yeah.
And so you could tell that Zucker and Abrams were like, we just want to make fun of Nazis. We have a fuckload of Nazi jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's figure out a way to do that. And so let's set it after World War II and have NATO, but also have Nazis. But also have it in the 60s with surfing music and have an Elvis type figure. So this fucking thing is all over the place. And breakdancing. It's all over the place. And it's kind of just like this pastiche so that we can just throw gag after gag after gag at you. It's a gag fest.
Right.
And in fact, even Zucker, I think, or Abrams, one of them said, like, the first Airplane was kind of a movie, and this is more just like a set of gags that we are throwing at you.
Yeah. Which, from what I understand, is what drove Val Kilmer nuts, because he was coming out of being in like Juilliard or whatever and like serious stuff, and he came in with like a backstory and everything.
That makes sense.
And,
that makes complete
sense. There wasn't really any. So he does a great job, but he
does a fantastic job
because he's playing it pretty straight compared to everybody else. Like everybody else is a little over the top. And there are bits where he kind of is. I mean, obviously his Elvis moves are pretty impressive, and but he's playing it as straight as he can. Yeah, he plays it as straight as he can within the framework that they're at, as far as
Well, and I think that's what sells it. It's kind of like the pilot Ted in Airplane. Like if he winks at the camera, it completely ruins the joke, right? Like he's got.
Although in this case, he does literally wink at the camera a couple of times, but
true.
And they do have this is a horrible movie. Whatever the bit where they both look at the camera about the ridiculousness of the film that they're in.
And I think that's again part of why it kind of loses its. It's just. I was talking to Marty about this earlier. Airplane is kind of the pinnacle of this type of humor. Like it really is the very tip top. And then Top Secret's just a step down. Boom. It's still great. It's still funny.
Horrible.
It's still, no, God, no. It's still firing on all cylinders, but it's not Airplane. Right.
No.
And then each one that comes after, in my opinion, just is slightly just diminishing returns, like a staircase all the way down to like the bottom of comedy when we get to these fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer parody type movies that are just
like the first Scary Movie was pretty
fucking cash
for what it did.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, but the ones after that
starts to get iffy.
Well, and then you've got like the ones like the
they don't play
God, they did that one about they did that one about the 300, the Battle Maximus or some shit. I mean, it just oh my God. Yes, there you go. Meet the Spartans. There it was. Yes, fucking awful. So it's just like, that's what I mean. It's like, it just sort of is devolved into this bad parody of itself, I guess. But, but this one actually, I mean, this one, I've seen it so many times that I don't think I need to ever see it again. But at the same time, it still fucking got me. Like there were still points where I was just like, God damn it, this movie got me again. I've seen this movie 1,000 times. I like, and it still got me.
Because it never stops.
Yeah.
One joke
It
after
never
the other.
stops.
It reminds me like a proto mystery science theater in a way, with joke, reference, pop culture reference, joke. You know, you got to catch your breath sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the production design was pretty impressive. I mean, I know they got to shoot like they said they got to use a lot of. I'm trying to remember where they said they get to use some of the sets from. I know the streets.
Was Superman. So that when
was Superman, yeah.
Yeah, when they look out the window and the mice are on the street, that's a Superman set, yeah.
But there was something else they got to use some stuff because they were shooting in Pinewood.
Yeah, it's all British.
Yeah. But the whole thing is, but yeah, that was the thing that the beach is like a beach in England. Mm-hmm. It is not in California at all.
It doesn't look very bright, and the surf doesn't look very good. Yeah, no.
Coffee green hills in the background there. It was kind of like, all right. That's also the thing with the music, right? So some of the songs are obviously parodies, but the other ones are kind of straight. I mean, he just does Tutti Frutti, which is fun. And the How Silly Can You Get song isn't really particularly silly, really, other than the name. So the only one that's really a parody, or at least a kind of off the wall thing, was the skeet surfing.
That one in the Are You Lonesome Tonight? Yeah.
Yeah, Are You Lonesome Tonight? Yeah, the Elvis, the straight up Elvis. That was great. Yeah. Are You Lonesome Tonight still makes me laugh, but
they just crush that guitar.
But I want to say, so I saw this in the theater when it came out in '84. My grandfather took me to see it. I was 11. Yeah. And then I bought the soundtrack at some point. I had this soundtrack on tape.
Right.
And I didn't know Kilmer sang the songs. I just thought they were hilarious.
Yeah.
But I remember in particular my grandfather laughing till I thought he started coughing like I thought he was gonna have a fit at the Violator jokes. Where he's like, I can't bring my wife to an orgasm. He's like, well, have you tried this?
Yeah, the anal penetrator.
Yeah,
so we watched it.
Got the fucking fist on it and shit. It's just like, oh my God, dude. Like, wow.
I watched it on Sunday. I forgot that was in there. Watched it with my mother and her husband. We were a little more on the conservative end of things. We're like, okay, well, she found it pretty funny for the most part, but that scene was rather quiet in the house at that point.
Yeah.
And my wife was sitting next to my mother, and she said, "Yeah, that was a little awkward."
And there's also brief nudity in the film too, and it's like, this is certainly the last of its kind of a PG before PG-13 came around.
That reminds me of, like, I was watching this commentary for Stripes. That was the thing, and they had like the first scene in Stripes. So there's this randomly a woman wandering around my apartment. And Ivan Reitman's like, yeah, the 80s with the casual nudity.
Casual nudity. Yep.
They can't do that anymore. Which, better or for worse. It was an interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So
I don't. I it's like Apes, Planet of the Apes, right? We did Planet of the Apes a while ago, and there's a lot of bare ass, and there's a lot of just artfully placed plants in certain parts of that movie because he's not wearing any clothes and things like that.
Yeah.
But but they didn't even rate it PG. They didn't even tell parents to worry about it. They just called it general audiences because none of it was sexual in nature, right? No. Like it's just so I don't know. I guess it all just depends on context, right? This movie has such a fucking Hogan's Heroes feel to it right from the beginning. Like it's just got it's got that TV set feel. Everything we're seeing is a set from a television show or a movie. Like nothing was specifically created for the film. It feels like.
I mean, they did. I know they made the restaurant set themselves.
Did they?
They were talking about that was on the biggest stage in Pinewood. That was a couple of things I actually got out of the commentary.
Okay.
It wasn't a lot, but there was that, and the set designer went on to do a bunch of stuff and win a bunch of Oscars. But most of it was recycled sets from something else, and I'm trying to remember what it was now. But anyway, something else, some other World War II type of movie that they had shot on the lot that they just recycled a bunch of sets from. And I think the movie kind of picks up more when you meet the French Resistance guys. Those are
Yeah,
They're a lot of
yeah,
fun.
I do like some of the early stuff. Like, I got a gun rack in my Chevy for when the surf and the flat get heavy. That's a great, that's a great line. This is Peter Cushing's last American film,
Is it?
and and they had to make that prosthetic that he used, that backward scene where he's got the big eye.
The big eye.
They had to do a face cast for that, and 25 fucking years later, they used that same face cast to mold him for Rogue One.
Okay. That's
so
cool.
they used the exact same top secret cast, which I thought was amazing. It was very, very cool.
Well, that makes sense. They have it. Might as well use it, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's got good pacing. Yeah, it's like you put it on, next thing you know, it's over. It flows so well. It's crazy, but it goes kind of fast. It moves.
Yeah. But it's that.
I feel like it first hour is great, and then you kind of hit like we're starting to let's wrap this up. Let's wrap it up. For me, it's like, okay, let's not linger. And it's in an hour and 30. It doesn't. Like, it gets in and it gets out. It's an hour and 26
It
minutes.
has some
4 minutes of credits.
Even for that time, a Blue Lagoon joke was already kind of dated.
Does anybody remember the Blue Lagoon now? Is one of my notes.
Well, it's like the fucking the Publishers Clearinghouse joke.
They just
anybody
get that.
Yeah, born after 95 even fucking understand what that joke is.
What was the line that I was going to sign up? I told them with the line in German, right? Was set him up for the mailing list. What was it for again?
Oh yeah,
Montgomery Ward.
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Montgomery Ward mailing list.
Montgomery Ward. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He
was
that's right.
Yeah. And then is your daughter 18? Is a bit.
There's sauerkraut in my Lederhosen. I like all the little things. Like, if you're not paying attention, it's like, what was that? And so the more I watch it, the more I catch weird little.
You left your funny dog poop. What funny dog poop?
Yes. But they pointed out in the commentary, they didn't notice that a lot of the so-called German is actually Yiddish.
Yes. It is. Yep.
Yeah. There's not a lot of real German in the film.
No, it's mainly like old Yiddish sayings, like "go take a shit in the ocean." Stick your head in the ground and so it grows upside down like an onion. All kinds of these weird Yiddish sayings.
Yeah, like the priest with all the random Latin for the priest, and then he's the one who gets put in the electric chair. It's just like, what the hell is going on? It's just so random.
The other fun thing was it's the first meeting of Val Kilmer of Batman and Alfred.
Because, that's true.
What's his face? I forgot his name. Patrick Goh.
Yeah,
plays the scientist, and he played Alfred in the Batman movies. Yep. So I wonder if they had a reminiscing on the set of Batman at that point.
Oh, they must have.
First scene of that. Yeah, they were talking about. There was some stuff in the commentary, like I said. So that submarine was on the back of a truck, and they were trying to. They had to back it through the wall 6 times. They had to rebuild the wall every single time.
Oh wow,
ridiculous! Yeah. But anyway,
this movie has a Jimmy Carter joke, a MASH joke, and a Mary Tyler Moore joke.
Yeah. All within about a minute of it.
Where the fuck are we?
And I love that scene, Cliff, because they're having their serious conversation, but they're doing the most ridiculous dance that everybody happens to know all the moves to.
Yeah, I love that, and I love that dance. That dance is so fucking funny. It's great. I absolutely love that dance.
And that was something we mentioned on the commentary. That somebody did that. The guy moderator did ask, like, how do they keep the straight face? And they're like, after you've done it like 20 times. It's like it loses the goofiness because now you just want to get through it.
You just want to get through it.
Yeah. That's one way to do it, I guess. Yeah.
The other scene I was going to say that my grandfather laughed so hard at was the ballet scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Which is just ridiculous.
Yeah. My mother liked the cow because it's just a cow painted with polka dots on it.
The cow's iconic with the boots, the rubber boots. The cow, that's iconic. I mean, that's the stolen. That's the biggest moment from the movie, in my opinion. And unfortunately, it doesn't even have anything to do with any of the actors.
Nothing.
He's like, fine.
Nothing at all. And the acting, of course, is kind of all over the place. But the guy, like one French Resistance guy, was really good. The kind of big, goofy guy. I liked him. I forgot
With
his
the
name.
was it that guy with the big nose and the
Deja
the
Vu?
mustache?
Yeah, the mustache. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was probably
that's
one of the better of
yeah.
the
He's been in a
actors in that part.
Are you
bunch of
sure we have
stuff.
not met before? Deja
Yes,
Vu.
Deja Vu. Yes,
Deja Vu. What is that guy's
yes,
name? He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's a really well-known English actor.
yeah. I mean,
Uh,
everybody in the French Resistance was pretty good. That was
yeah,
they all did their parts quite well.
Latrine.
Oh, and
Yes, Latrine.
Omar Sharif is great in this. Like
Yeah.
the fact that he even agreed to do this is really
Oh,
surprising.
well, they were talking about that too, about how some of these serious actors love to do this stuff because nobody ever asked them to do it.
Yeah,
Nobody asked them to do something funny and goofy because they're
right.
like, well, will they do it? And then no, because they're actors. They like to do something fun,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Every once in a while, just let loose and do something off the wall, and that was that, right? It's very clever.
That guy's name is Jim Carter, and he's one of the leads on Downton Abbey.
Jimmy Carter.
Oh, that's him.
That's
Okay.
him.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's really good.
We didn't even recognize him.
Really
I mean,
good.
my wife and I watched Downton Abbey all the time.
Yeah, he's Mr. Carson on
mention
Downton Abbey. Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
yeah, he's fantastic. Really, really
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Um,
And that explains that.
I love it. I don't know if you guys caught this, but when Kilmer's crawling through the ductwork, to get to the professor, like he crawls out of that grate, and like the grate just kind of stays open for him, and then slowly
And then
closes
whacks him in the
as he
head.
gets out of it.
Yeah.
It kind of does, but then as he gets out, like the grate stays open. Like somebody's obviously holding that grate open and then lowering it slowly.
Yeah, I noticed that because it whacks him in the head slightly when he gets out, and then it was like it goes back up, and then goes down very slowly.
Yep.
Things you notice, especially as film people, as we're watching these things, going, oh, yep, somebody didn't do that at the right
somebody
time.
had to sit back. Yep, somebody had to hold that thing. Yep.
Yeah.
I think my favorite bit this viewing was the giant pigeon in the background and the three guys that flap down and take piss all over it and then fly away. It's so dumb, but but like and that's the thing about this movie is like the movie really commits to just fuck you, man. Gag. Here they come. And look, you have two choices with this movie. You either lean into it and you go for the ride, or you grit your teeth and you hate every fucking minute of this thing.
Yeah.
There's almost no in between, in my opinion.
No.
Like
you go with it or you don't.
This is a very polarizing comedy. You either think this is funny, it's like Hot Tub Time Machine. You either think that shit's funny or you don't. And
it's the dumbest thing you've ever seen. And,
Yep.
I know people that were definitely on that definitely be in that dichotomy.
Same.
I, on the other hand, I think it's very funny, and I've enjoyed it every time I watched it. But you're right; it's not something I'm going to pull out every 2 seconds and watch. Once a year. This is every couple of years, maybe we'll pull it out.
Yep.
Yep. It's not in the same. It's not quite in the same league as Airplane. You're right.
It's just,
but it is way better than Airplane 2.
It's still, it's better than Airplane 2. And did this come out after Airplane 2?
Yeah,
I want to say it did.
Yeah,
a couple of years actually.
And they didn't have anything to do with Airplane 2 because
that's right.
They didn't want to.
But it was a step up from that, though. It was definitely like here's how you do this.
Airplane 2 was 82, so it was 2 years before that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the thing they had with Airplane was that they had a script to work off because my dad and I years ago we were watching because this is before I knew anything about it. We'd happen to catch 0 Hour on like late night or like late afternoon TV on like I don't know AMC or something like that, and we hadn't ever realized that was a thing. But we watched it and we're like, this is brilliant because it's obviously they took this script for Airplane and then they just went nuts. But we were laughing at the original film because we were recognizing stuff from Airplane. It was weird, but but yeah, for this one they were saying they didn't have a plot really. They didn't have a movie to work off of specifically, so
it's just like set up. It's just like premise and then gag, a little bit of story, gag, more gag, a little bit of story, gag, more story.
Yeah, they had to
That
hire
being
an
said,
extra
there are
writer.
some really good gags in it.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. The cow, the whole thing with the cow is fantastic from start to finish.
The station pulling away from the train was always a good one.
Very good.
Very clever. And like right from the very beginning, his paint, he's painting, and then you look at it and it's all fuzzy because he's looking out the window. And,
it's blurry.
yeah, I mean that's it's just There's a lot of like individual things. The saloon fight, underwater saloon fight, which was
that's really good stuff.
Very well done.
Yeah.
So there's some really, and then the backward scene. There's stuff that's in there that you're really impressed with, and it's funny. But yes, as a whole, it doesn't quite come together.
Well, it's like that
individually, it's great.
Yeah, it's like that reverse scene we mentioned earlier. Or I mentioned earlier. It's like if you watch that scene, you're like, "Good God, that must have been tough to film." Because it's just you have to do everything kind of in reverse, but in the right order, and I don't know.
There's a bonus feature where you see it go the other direction if you're
really.
Yeah, there's a couple of funny deleted scenes too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the scene where they're screaming "Welcome, Neek," and he's playing his guitar on stage, and and he throws the guitar up and it goes up in the air and disappears.
That's the silly part. Yeah.
I wonder if Prince saw that back when he did his, because he did that on stage at a concert with I think it was While My Guitar Gently Weeps or one of those where he came out and played the lead on it, and then right at the end, like he just plays this scorching lead at the end of the song, and then as the song's over, he just throws his guitar up in the air and just walks off stage, and the guitar never comes back down, which is fantastic. It's such a great, especially because it's such an electric solo that he's playing. It's so unexpected. So, but part of me's like, I wonder if he saw Top Secret.
Well, and then the interesting thing too with all the girls screaming, which is from what I was listening to there, they were saying they basically just had them watch a lot of stuff from the Beatles when the Beatles were all this.
Right. Yeah.
So like. And I've seen some of that footage, and so I'm like, I kind of recognize specific girls doing specific other girls from the Beatles video, right?
Yeah.
But that was kind of a weird one too, because like I said, the songs weren't really that funny in that bit. They were a little more straightforward.
But it's the things he's doing during the song, like the microphone stretching, the guitar going up, the putting his head in the noose, the hitting on the girl who's like 10.
It's pretty creepy. That's very Elvis.
There were a couple of things. You're like,
The extending
they're shooting up things like Gary Lee Lewis and stuff, I figured,
Yeah. Well, and then my favorite bit right after that, where he shoos all the bicycles off.
Oh, that's good. That might be one of my favorite parts.
Yes, that's really good.
Because in the beginning, you see the German attach his bike to the rack like it's a horse.
Yeah.
And so like much later, when he's letting them loose, it's like, oh, that was a setup.
Do you guys remember in the 80s how, so especially in the late 70s, early 80s, on your UHF stations, they would run the comedy classics, and it was the Three Stooges usually, right? Like you get the comedy classics on late night TVs, a bunch of Three Stooges. This feels like, it feels like Airplane and this are directly like sort of cashing in on that resurgence of this old kind of slapsticky type of goofy ass Three Stooges type, because it's Airplane and Top Secret to me are very Three Stooges, just a little bit. I guess it would be more highbrow Three Stooges. Which is a weird thing to say.
Not quite Marx Brothers, because I always prefer the Marx Brothers over Three Stooges. But Marx Brothers was a lot of verbal.
Right. That's just it. Well, this Airplane is much more physical. Airplane and Top Secret are physical comedy with a little bit of verbal throw. That's why they feel more Three Stooges.
Yeah.
But they came out and they were popular during that sort of resurgence of they had that stupid, Hey Mo song that was, in the top 40, all that weird.
Well, all those writers were inspired by that stuff when they were kids, so it makes sense. Yeah. They hired an extra writer on this to actually make it make sense, to be like, we have all these jokes and we don't know what to do with them. And somebody came in and they were like, we'd still be in the writer's room if it wasn't for this guy. He figured out a path for it to all go in.
There's a buried L. Ron Hubbard call out in this movie.
Oh yes,
which I really, really enjoyed. I was like, oh, that's sharp. I mean, that's 84, and they're calling L. Ron out for that shit. This is a year or two before Dianetics, if I'm not mistaken.
So I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and by Skeet Surfing, they have literally written writers Brian Wilson, Mike Love, and Chuck Berry. So I'm wondering, I don't know if they actually wrote it, or are they just talking about the fact that they
derivative? Yeah.
I guess if they're lifting the music, maybe they're giving credit for the music writing. If they're just lifting the music and then putting lyrics over it, maybe, I don't know.
Because it sounds an awful lot, but it's not specifically. I don't know. It's like Weird Al and his pastiches. It's always, which is always what I always appreciate about Weird Al, and that because everybody's all about the parodies, which are great, but I find his original songs that are pastiches much more interesting because he has to be. That shows the genius of Weird Al. Right. You have to know the artist well enough to know what the artist sounds like to make something that sounds like the artist.
And Weird Al says this is his favorite movie of all time.
Is it?
Which kind of
that would make sense. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Well, that makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a few more.
Anything else to say about that?
Yeah.
Which TV character was Mel Torme obsessed with? Was obsessed with Mel Torme. Do you guys remember that? There was a TV character in the 80s who was obsessed with Mel Torme. Oh, it was Harry from Night Court.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was the Velvet Fog.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yep. Nick Rivers is the inspiration for Nick Levine, at least the name. That's where I pulled Nick from. For our script about the fictional writer, because I was quite obsessed with this film around the time we wrote Comic Book Diaries. This movie got back on my radar about 20 years ago. I hadn't watched it for a long time, and the guys that we were making Marijuanos with were really into it, and I started watching it and getting really into it. And so every time we seem to start a production up, Top Secret shows up on the TV somehow. So maybe it's showing up on the show here as announcing that we're getting ready to do something again. Anyways, I like all the jokes in the movie, but one doesn't really land for me. I get it, but it feels like one of the weirdest jokes in the movie. It's where he's getting whipped, and he has this little dream sequence where he's like, I'm back in school. And I'm thinking, I guess it's preferable to be getting whipped than have to go back to school and be late for your tests again. But it's just... It's presented in such a bizarre way. Yeah. Where I'm like, what's going on right there? Saw this at a midnight screening about 15, 20 years ago. That absolutely killed because, after all the years, everybody knows all the jokes. And I really love the fake credits at the end. They've peppered in some bullshit credits along the way. And my favorite one is on the left-hand side, it says Freeze. And then on the right-hand side, it says A Jolly Good Fellow. It's totally stupid, but it's just like, oh my god, this movie just does not stop until the credits are over.
Till they're done, yeah.
Yeah, it's relentless. It's fucking relentless, that's for sure.
I'm the heretic. I like this more than Airplane. I tried to watch Airplane again a few years ago, and I made it 5 minutes in. I'd seen it so many times that's the one for me where I'm like, maybe one day I could come back to it, but I think it's because I was away from Top Secret for a good 20-some years and then rediscovered it in the early aughts and went, what is going on here? Like I had to watch it a few times just to get a grip of it. Compared to Yellowbeard that we watched a few weeks ago, that one feels like let's throw a bunch of jokes and it never really gels. This one for me is just like, it's kind of bliss in a way. So
I
don't think this one ever really gels either. Honestly, it's like I said, it just feels like premise so that you can fire. It's kind of like MASH, right? Where you're like, well, they have this. They're in a mobile hospital. They're in Korea. Go. And it's just whatever jokes and things that they can throw in to and hey, I love MASH. I'm not shitting on Top Secret. It's just
MASH was good, and the old Mary Tyler Moore show.
But it's also it's a good call. But it's also sort of fucking dated, and I think I've seen both of these movies and this type of comedy so much that it's just diminishing returns for me at this point. You
Yeah.
know? Now
It's
but
not quite
now,
as
in the mid '80s when I was watching this
Yeah.
shit, it was fucking comedy gold. Comedy
Yeah.
gold.
they're not quite as dated as say the most of the scary movie stuff, because those are like flash in the pan stuff that was really popular the year it came out, but nobody's
Yeah.
gonna remember any of this 20 years later. But yes, there are jokes, especially in Top Secret, that just aren't gonna land, 30 or 40 years later, just because nobody knows what they are anymore.
But if you like,
And as they pointed out, Blue
Yeah.
Lagoon once again
Yeah.
was even dated when they did the movie,
yes,
like out of nowhere.
they even
And
made.
I've
a
never
sequel
seen
to
Blue
it.
Lagoon, but I know enough about the Blue Lagoon to,
It's as
Forget
if
it.
you've seen it. Yeah, trust me.
Yeah.
From somebody who had cable in the early '80s and was subjected to that, and its sequel many times, you
Yes.
know exactly what that is.
the old days when you just turn on the TV in the afternoon and you have to just flip channels so you find something you want to watch.
Yep.
And sometimes
Very
you just
true.
watch stuff because it's the only thing that you're like, I don't want to watch like The Price is Right again. Like,
So true.
They even
it
made
was like, what was it? One of the James Bond movies. I only saw the last 15 minutes for like years because I'd go to my dad's house and he had cable. We'd flip it on, and it'd always be the last 15 minutes of, I think it's The Living Daylights. And I never saw the whole film until years later. But I knew the last 15 minutes of The Living Daylights pretty well. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's funny. They even made a sequel to the Blue Lagoon, and even that is ancient now. So I don't know if anybody truly remembers that anymore. But I think if you like World War II movies, or if you like Elvis movies, there might still be something for a new viewer to latch on. But some of the jokes, as if with all comedy, it's going to be like, what are they referencing there?
Yeah. There's enough stuff in here that is, timeless, just goofy jokes that, But there are a few things, like the random Cuisinart in his cell that just disappears.
Yes. Yeah, it's sitting on a shelf and then it's not. Yeah.
And then
it's
the
very,
picture of the random picture of Cher.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's because he was
random
dating her at the time that they were filming this movie. He was dating Cher.
Yeah.
So
That
they stuck her picture on the wall.
Yeah. Anyway.
What do you think, Marty? What do you give it?
I'm crazy. I give it 4.5 because for me, I come back to. I watched it twice this week, guys. I come back to it every year, so it's very inspirational for me. I know it's completely dumb, but like I said, I think it's because I didn't see it for 20 some years, and it was just like, what is this?
Yeah.
I need the 4K disc.
Yeah.
Drew, what about you?
I put it at let's say 3.5.
More reasonable, yeah.
Yeah. I can't say 4. It's close to a 4. I'd probably put Airplane like 4, 4.5. It's not a 5 for me. Not that it's not a bad movie. It's just for comedies that I'm a little more. The slapsticky stuff I enjoy, but it's not my favorite.
Right. Word.
I'm more of a word type of guy. So for Val Kilmer, like comedy type movies, and he wasn't the main actor in it, but Kiss Kiss Bang Bang had some great Val Kilmer lines. And anyway, that's one to pull out some point. You guys haven't watched that in a while.
Well, maybe we'll just do a Talking Kilmer every year and have you on for
yeah,
that.
There we go. Yeah.
He's got a bunch of friggin' movies.
Like Tombstone. We could do what was the
Tombstone,
one?
Willow. There's all kinds of stuff. With Saint.
The one where he's that
fucking Batman movie he did.
Yeah, the FBI agent on the reservation.
Thunderheart.
Yeah.
Salt and Sea. There's a bunch.
Graham Greene was so great in Thunderheart.
Doors.
How do you know I was speeding? The wind told me. Said 57. Book him.
I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 3. I would probably give Airplane somewhere in a 3.5 to 4 range. This is funny, but it's just it's not that funny. And I'm giving it, like, if I'm judging it based upon now and how many times I've watched it, I'm going to say like 2, 1.5 or 2, because I've seen it too many times. I've seen all the jokes. I've seen it, and it, I don't know.
1.5.
Yeah,
the underwater fight scene alone is more than 1.5.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, for the 50th time I've seen it, sure, I guess.
Still impressive.
That's the problem with this movie is, and I think that's the thing. It's like the really great movies have a rewatchability that is almost never lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Raiders or Godfather,
Yeah.
So you have to kind of judge a movie based upon its rewatchability, right? Like this one for me starts to kind of, okay, I've seen this, but I mean, I think a 3 is definitely fair. I think it's well made. Apparently they had an $8 million budget and they gave $1 million back to the studio when they were done.
Yeah, I remember they
surprising.
Talked about that. They actually came in way under budget.
Yeah, that's very surprising.
Yeah.
Well, and it makes sense. I mean, like I said, all those sets just look like that jail looks like just painted cardboard rock. Like it's just not. They didn't go for like lived-in believability. They went for like, all right, TV set, go, gag, gag, gag. Let's do this.
Definitely.
But yeah. So, anyways, that moves us to Real Genius.
Real Genius, which I was thinking about Real Genius, and I was thinking about Revenge of the Nerds because the girl was in both of those.
Mm-hmm.
What's her? I forgot her name.
Michelle
Mayrink.
Yeah,
Michelle Mayrink,
Valley Girl.
One of the very few Michelle Mayrink films out there.
Yeah, she retired in like '88.
Yeah,
went off to become a Buddhist apparently.
She got married, she's got kids and shit. Lives in Canada now, so good for her.
I thought she was uber cute in this movie, but that's just
she was very cute, and
for the weird kind of girl.
There's a lot of Martha Coolidge like reusing people from her past movies in this movie.
Yeah,
big time. And Michelle Mayrink is one of them. So is Deborah Foreman.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. You go down this list of who's in this thing, and
it's
there
ridiculous.
are so many.
It's pretty crazy,
and it's so like little pits. So like Yuji Okamoto he was in Karate Kid Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then also he was in Cobra Kai recently, but I'm like, and he's barely they don't really, he doesn't have a lot of lines, but you're like, I know that guy. Like I see him and stuff. He was also great in Better Off Dead, which is like one of my favorite John Cusack movies.
Right.
Savage Steve. Yes. Yeah, Better Off Dead and One Crazy Summer. That's another double feature.
Oh yeah, very much so. The Savage Steve Holland double feature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dean Devlin's in this movie. Dean
Devlin
created
the creator of Stargate.
I'm looking at his early stuff. I really loved Moon 44 back in the day. That was ridiculously like low budget sci-fi movie with Michael Paré and Malcolm McDowell. Have you guys ever seen that one?
No, but
what was it called again?
Moon 44.
Yeah.
Sure. Ridiculous movie. And then City Limits. I mostly know City Limits from Mystery Science Theater.
That's another
because
film, where you can making anybody to this, and
John Stockwell and Kim Cattrall's in that.
And then you get Dean Devlin popping up in there.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
And Dean Devlin's big line is, "They're beauticians." That's his big line in the movie.
But I look at his filmography and especially his television stuff. I can't say I've hated anything he's ever produced. So
right.
I mean, he wrote Universal Soldier. He wrote Stargate. He wrote Independence Day. He wrote the screenplay for the '98 Godzilla.
Well, that might be
one. Well, that one might be, but at the time it was a big fucking hit.
Well, and then I'm a big fan of like the Librarian series, all the Librarian stuff. I've been on Leverage. I love Leverage. I've been watching.
He produced those. Yep.
I've been watching The Ark recently. That's a pretty fun show on Sci-Fi Channel.
And Dean Devlin's most important cinematic role, his one episode of Too Close for Comfort. So, but what is Real Genius? Before we,
that's true. Go for it.
Dive right in. Real Genius, 1985, PG, an hour and 48 minutes long. An uptight teen prodigy enters a top engineering college but feels awkward among the freewheeling students. When a professor aims to turn their laser project into a military weapon, he and his offbeat roommate plot to ruin the plan. This is directed by Martha Coolidge, written by Neil Israel, Pat Prophet, and P.J. Torokovai, and it stars Val Kilmer. let's see here. What's your your storyline? Mitch Taylor is one of the youngest students ever accepted to a university known for its programs for geniuses. He partners up with his roommate, science club legend Chris Knight, on a project to develop a high-powered laser. Together with their hyperkinetic friends, they employ their intellects in the pursuit of bigger blasts, practical jokes, and a deeper understanding of what real genius means. When they find out that their professor intends to turn their work over to the military for use as a weapon, they decide to get even.
It goes from God to Jerry to me.
It goes from God to Jerry to you to the cleaners, right, Marty?
Yes. I had just the movie came up again recently too, because I was reading an interview with James Rode Garcia from Psych, and he said he based his character on what if Chris Knight grew up, and I'm looking at it now going, yeah, I can see that. You can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
he went into that. Yeah.
Right away in the first 5 minutes, Stacy Peralta is the guy flying the crossbow.
Yeah.
You know, that's that guy. Basically, he created Palin Peralta. He's the reason that you had skateboarding in the 80s.
Gotcha.
All that shit. He's the reason that Tony Hawk is a known name. He's the reason. And he ran the biggest skateboarding company and the biggest skateboarding teams in the 80s, and then moved into making films in the 90s and beyond. So it's crazy that he's got this weird
just
little part
randomly in the film.
Yeah. Like I'd love to know how he got hooked up with that.
This might be the ultimate Nexus film, as you like to call them, Cliff, where you can connect so many people to it.
Louis Giambalvo and Ed Lauter are two of the most you see those guys' faces. Ed Lauter. I mean, these guys are character actors who have been in hundreds of films.
Youngblood.
Ed Lauter's great. I like pretty much anything.
Yep, me too. You've got Joanne Barron, who plays Mitch's mom. She's been in a bunch of stuff. My God. Yeah. And then, of course, Mr. William Atherton himself.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I mean, it's a big toss-up for me. I mean, his role in Ghostbusters is great, but it's kind of small comparatively. And then he just gets to go full asshole. Between this and Ghostbusters and Die Hard, he pretty much cemented his I get to play jerks for the rest of my life. It was great to see him in the latest Ghostbuster movie as the mayor of New York, which was great. But yeah, he's so slimy in this. It's just it's next level slimy.
It's so good. Where he's like, "What are you looking at? This is, you're laborers. You should be laboring. That's what you get for not having an education." Like, wow.
And that dog, dude. The dog every single time.
Go away. With that dog.
John Grease was great too.
Oh yeah, John Grease. Yep,
so much stuff.
Fucking Robert Prescott's in this. Yeah. He was like, he played that great asshole character all throughout the 80s.
Yeah,
that you just love to hate. You had Patty D'Arbanville was in this. Sandy Martin is in this.
Mrs. Mack from It's Always Sunny is in this film for 2 seconds.
That's crazy. Yeah. Tommy Swerdlow, who played Bodie, that dude went on to he was in Howard the Duck. He was in Child's Play. He wrote Cool Runnings. He wrote Little Giants. He wrote Snow Dogs. He wrote The Grinch. He wrote Puss in Boots' Last Wish. What the fuck? Like the work these people went on to do after this movie is amazing. A lot of them did is amazing. It's really crazy how Martha and the casting people were able to sniff out all this fucking talent, because it's just packed into this movie ridiculously.
And this is a perfect setup for this little mini rant I have to go on, as all these talented people worked on this, but the one who probably is the most notable is the cinematographer D.P. Vilmos Zsigmond. This guy got his start making every Arch Hall Jr. film that exists. He shot Eega, he shot Wild Guitar, and he also made movies for Ray Dennis Steckler, like The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies. And he was also making movies for Al Adamson. You know Al Adamson, Cliff. He directed East Meets Watts. This is the level of stuff that he was doing before he hooked up with Robert Altman and made Miss McCabe and Mrs. Miller. And then it was off to the races. He didn't have to do B stuff anymore. Then the next thing you know, he's making Deliverance with John Borman. And then he's making the Sugarland Express with Spielberg, which leads to Close Encounters, which leads to The Deer Hunter, which leads to Heaven's Gate. Then he's working with De Palma on Blowout. And then he ends up on Real Genius and immediately goes and makes The Witches of Eastwick, Fat Man and Little Boy, The Two Jakes, Bonfire of the Vanities, Maverick. And then towards the end of his career, he ends it with a couple of Woody Allen movies that are the lessers, but he also makes Jersey Girl with Kevin Smith.
Jersey Girl.
This guy goes all the way for people who work with Ed Wood, all the way to Kevin
And I'm looking at his Wikipedia page. Apparently shot 24 episodes of the Mindy Project.
Yeah.
It's
nuts. It's interesting.
He skipped. I mean, you skipped some other stuff, but he did. He did so much shit. It's not even funny. He's a fantastic cinematographer.
Yeah,
and the film looks really good. I mean,
it does.
Well, I remember reading that apparently that they had a lot of trouble with the lasers because that's the real tech. They're working with real lasers in that film.
Yeah,
and one of them's a dye laser. And they what he said was that they had a lot of trouble filming the laser coming at you. You couldn't even fucking see it. Going away, you could. So they learned quickly to fill the room with smoke so the lasers would catch on film, and also to try and shoot away from them or go pointing at or going away. I can't remember which one, but that would make the laser pop on the camera more, and that's how basically he learned to use that, and then went into other lighting techniques later in his films, which I thought was fucking awesome.
It's very impressive, some of the tech stuff. And then, like I said, looking at this and like Revenge of the Nerds, this is much more obviously realistic.
Yes.
From what I understand, Martha Coolidge went and did a lot of rewrites and actually interviewed a bunch of people at Caltech and actually tried to, even though it's a goofy kind of comedy, she tried to make it as realistic of a comedy as she could, which I appreciated. Which is always one of the things I liked about it, because I'm like, that looks like a really fun place to go to school.
Even though I read that, Yeah, I read that a lot of these antics are based on actual things that students did at Caltech, like when Laszlo's doing the entries into the Frito-Lay contest. That's Caltech students who in '74 used a strategy to win a McDonald's sweepstakes. They won a station wagon, they won $3,000 in cash, they won $1,500 in food vouchers, and so and like the liquid nitrogen coins and all this weird shit. It's like that's not the liquid nitrogen coins, but the the frozen skating rink.
Yeah, the skating rink thing.
They actually fucking do that at Caltech, and they freeze it first, and then once it thaws, they turn it into like a fucking whitewater rafting thing through the halls, and so it's a whole thing at Caltech to do that, or at least it was.
Yeah.
So I find that shit fascinating, where it's like, okay, so this is kind of based in fact a little bit.
Yeah.
That really smart people, in order to kind of blow off the steam of being under a lot of academic pressure, they do a lot of weird shit like this.
So Montana State, which is where I went to school, I was in the film and the media and theater arts department, and the theater was built on the old ballroom, which is attached to the student union. And across the sidewalk was the engineering building, and we'd be in there rehearsing and stuff. Then you had to walk down the sidewalk, get to the parking lot, and there would be times. And this didn't happen to me, but it happened to several of my other actor friends. You'd be walking towards the parking lot, and then like 10 o'clock at night, all of a sudden there'd be a laser down there, because the engineers up in the engineering building are firing lasers at people walking past in the street because they're bored. And they've been up there too long or something. I'm like, yeah, so it kind of hit home for me. I'm like, yep, that's the sort of thing that happened.
That's it. Yep.
They used to call Montana State Boeing U, because Boeing used to hire a bunch of their engineers out of there.
Oh, okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
But no, it's a great movie. You get to like the characters. It's not just. I mean, Chris Knight's he's a goofy guy, but you see him get real, in the middle, and you realize that he's a very smart guy. He's doing whatever he does this to blow off steam. And obviously to help the other people around him blow off steam, because some of these people are really tightly wound.
Yeah, true.
And it's just a fun character. He's got so many great lines in this movie.
God, this whole movie is just full of them.
Yeah.
One after the other, one after the other after the other. It's just
the one I always say. There, I saw the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Holyfield in his pajamas.
In his pajamas. All my filth is in alphabetical order. This is under H for toy. What is it? It's a penis stretcher. You want to try it? No.
Yeah. Do you qualify that as a design problem or a launch problem?
Or a launch problem or a design problem? It's just
drones in '85, guys. Drones in '85.
Would you be prepared if the world's gravity suddenly reversed? Only thing I can't figure out is how to keep the change in my pockets. I know what nudity. That's what it is.
Yeah.
This fucking thing, I can quote this thing all day long. This has no diminishing returns for me. None.
No.
There is always something fresh in this movie. There is always something to like. There's always this movie. It feels so lived in. It feels like you're on some science campus. All the graffiti on the walls, the way things are done. It just feels like you are living in a science nerd campus.
Kent's weird room with all the handprints on the walls.
Yes, Kent's fucking strange ass room. The car they put in his room. Oh my god.
Yeah. How much does it cost to do that?
No shit. Yeah. And that's actually another prank. That one's from England. They actually did that to somebody in England and disassembled the car and had it, and it was running in the fucking room. Yeah.
You know what's funny about that is Kent does the prank where he plays the phone message over, and all his cronies help him too. Fuck the cronies. We don't have to get back at the cronies. We only get back at Kent. Yeah. Those other guys scot-free. They never have to pay for it. I know
the guy that's true. I like the guy right there that stutters because he's just kind of interesting. He's just sort of there. Mm-hmm. They pick on him slightly, but he's hanging out with them because he's,
right.
Yeah. Bodie.
I feel like on some level too, and this is sort of, I was thinking about this when I was watching it. I'm like, this is like Big Bang Theory, but more realistic.
This is exactly. This is a complete. This is a complete launching pad for the Big Bang Theory. Yeah. Hey, Bodie, your stutter seems to be better. I've been doing shock treatments. Up the voltage. Mm-hmm. I mean, this fucking movie over and over again. I do like that right at the beginning. Like, it kind of tries to do a misdirection on you. Like it's like it starts off with this crossbow project thing, and then it goes into credits with all these weird pictures of weapons.
Yeah.
And then suddenly we're at a science fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the movie's telling you it's about weapons right from the beginning. You're just kind of like, what is this? And then boom, you're off to college with this young kid, right?
Yeah.
And Chris Knight's introduction is I love the Toxic Waste t-shirt. He's got the boingy space things on his head, and he's being a cut up for his potential. It's such a great introduction where, are you sure you're Chris Knight? Well, I hope so. I'm wearing his underwear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All that shit is just so good.
Yeah.
You instantly want to be him or like him in those situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have always wanted to run up to a girl and go, my God, don't eat that. Don't you know that eating that can give you large breasts? Oh God, I'm too late. I've never had the balls, but I have always wanted to.
It's kind of interesting too. He's like a proto. What did Ryan Reynolds did? Van Wilder.
Oh my God,
that kind of character.
Yes,
it's a very proto that kind of thing. Although Van Wilder takes the whole sexy part further, but that and one of my favorite movies, which is PCU. Right. I love PCU, and it's that character.
Jeremy
Piven's character in that is very Chris Knight, right? Which is
much,
very similar now that I'm thinking about it, because it's the young guy who comes to the college campus, and except in this case he's just
right.
PCU is like a brilliant movie, but in my opinion, but yeah, he's like a very proto those kind of characters. Because I was thinking, I always said PCU is like a modern Animal House, but I'm like it's actually more like a modern Real Genius.
Mm-hmm. It's like if you took Real Genius and Animal House and you smashed them together.
Yeah,
very much so.
Not to do another movie, but the quote in that, you're going to do that, you're going to wear the shirt of the band you're going to go see, don't be that guy.
You're going to be that guy? Don't be that guy.
And now I heard the
John
writers.
Favreau.
One of the writers of PCU recently was like, "Oh, I wore a Metallica shirt to a Metallica show. It's okay, guys. Do whatever the hell you want.
You'll be okay." Yeah, there was so many great people in this movie.
Yeah, and I feel like you nailed it with Ryan Reynolds. Now that you've said that, I can't stop thinking about the fact that Ryan Reynolds' entire personality is basically just Chris Knight from fucking Real Genius.
Because two girls and a guy, he's very Chris Knight-like. And I love that show. It was one of my favorite shows.
Mm-hmm.
Two girls, a guy, and a pizza place. That one.
It started out two girls, guy, and a pizza place, and then they got rid of the pizza place after like season 3.
That's right.
So Deadpool is Batman, is what we've learned today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Basically.
Why is that toy on your head? Because if I wear it anywhere else, it chafes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the term DEI, and it shows up a lot in this film. The plumbing van that they pull up into to Hathaway's house the initials are DEI. So DEI is an in joke amongst high scientists and physicists, and they've been placing it everywhere. It's on the moon. Yeah. It's in very different places, and the joke is to try and put it in the most conspicuous places that you can that people can't really get to.
So what does it stand for in this case?
I don't know. It's just DEI.
So it's not the one that's
it's not. I don't know if it's diversity, equity, inclusion or not. But it's been
probably not, because it's been longer than that. But.
Yeah, it's been a running thing since the 80s. So I would agree it's probably not. But I find it fascinating that this it's like a fucking weird Skull and Bones thing from Harvard. Like these secret societies, these secret clubs that are doing this stuff. This seems kind of harmless and prankful, but anyway, wild.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to go to this college so badly because they had a fucking Burger Time game right in the dorm. Like the minute you go into the dorm, it's like the rock music starts and everybody's playing Burger Time. And I'm like, this college is fucking awesome.
Burger Time. God, I played that game a bunch.
It takes Revenge of the Nerds up to the third one until the nerds have taken over the campus, and then they have the frat house has the video games in it. But Real Genius way ahead of the curve on that.
Well, that's because they were going to a nerd school. You know what I mean? They should have been going to a nerd school, right?
To Adams College. Well, they got the best computer course in the country.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those computers, man. Oh.
I love
so wacky. The screens are so small.
Yeah, Laszlo's typing and there's just a screensaver going. I love that part.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite jokes in Captain Marvel, because it was set in the 90s when they have to go load up whatever it is on the computer, and it just you have to wait and wait and wait.
Mm-hmm. I love that shit.
Because computers are weird. But no, yes, it's a clever movie. The characters have a decent arc, which I appreciate for a movie of this type. It's not just here's a bunch of some of the like Revenge of the Nerds is fine, but it's another one of those where here's just a whole bunch of gags to kind of do silly stuff, right?
This one's a little more heart.
This one has a lot more heart, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Than Revenge of the Nerds does.
It's also not trying to delve too far into that. Like, there's the scene where the Patty Darbanville shows up and tries to have sex with Mitch, and then he runs to Michelle Mayrink's character Jordan.
He was also too old for him.
Yeah, she's like 4 years older than he is.
Yeah, I was going to say, first off, Mitch is the man. He gets to college and immediately gets a girlfriend 4 years older than him. Mitch is the fucking man, all right? But he runs to her and immediately is like, I didn't have sex with her, but she wanted to have sex with me and blah, 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 because I want to have sex with you. But they don't, other than that, they don't really, they're not really hammering on that relationship or trying to make too much out of it. It's just a very natural, like, way to kind of cement their relationship and then move on, right? And from there, it's just they don't really. I like that. I like that we don't spend too much time on it. We're not we have to. No, you don't. Just keep moving. Keep this movie light. Keep it moving. Keep it funny. Keep it fun.
Good pace. It just keeps going. It doesn't hold your hand. If you don't pay attention in the first 15 minutes, you might get lost, and the movie doesn't.
You might
back up to tell you what's going on.
But the movie's so charming. I don't think you'd mind. Like if I caught this halfway through and had no idea what it is, I'd be like, "What is this? This is kind of funny. This is hilarious."
Yeah. These characters are a lot of fun. And like I said, there was just a lot of random people in the background, like Steve Devlin and all these. They had like practically no lines, but they're there, right?
The girl that he runs up to and says, "Oh my God, don't eat that. That could give you large breasts." She ends up doing. She's in American Pop, Joysticks, Private School, Preppies. She's in Avenging Angel, Malibu Express, Real Genius, Teen Wolf. She's in a ton of stuff. It's insane. Like the people in these movies are not. Nick Conte's in this movie, for Christ's sakes, and he did a bunch of shit too. It's insane.
Yeah,
the people that are in, Nick Conte was also in Misfits of Science, which this movie reminded me of, and I haven't seen Misfits of Science since it was on TV. It's probably terrible, but anyway.
But you know what else this reminded me of? I don't know if you've seen a movie called The Love Song of William H. Shaw. But there's this montage sequence in it where the character Billy's like working on pottery, and then Katie's in the house making, and there's this song playing called Civilized Fun. And damn if that falling song in Real Genius didn't make me feel that same kind of like, oh, it's that got that same vibe to it. Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it ends with everybody wants to rule the world, which is
it's a perfect ending.
Popcorn.
Oh, really? What about that time I found you naked with that bowl of Jello?
I was
did not
hungry. Okay.
The one thing I noticed this time around is that Ick is the perfect enabler friend. Ick is the friend that like enables you and gets you in. He's like, sure, here, I'll turn the hallways into ice. Skate away, my friend.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to turn into gas, and I mean, maybe it'll explode. We don't know, but
whatever.
He's a classic fucking enabler. It's so great.
Did the laser ever stop going through stuff?
I love that though. I've wondered that forever. I love how the laser, because look, these two guys should know this 5 megawatt laser is going to burn through whatever they're pointing it at, but they still fire it off and take the chances of burning a hole straight through a 5-year-old. God knows where this thing's going.
The scientist was very appreciative of them wearing eye protection, except for Chris Knight, who wears
Ray-Bans.
Well, no, in that scene, he's wearing a catcher's mask. Like, that's going to help.
That's right.
It's not going to do anything.
So good.
Yeah. But yeah, the sciencey bits were pretty sciencey, right?
Mm-hmm.
They looked very realistic, which was...
No, they were. I mean, you know that part where they climb onto the B-1 Lancer and he plugs that ribbon clip
the tip. I had one of those.
So that's a DDoS attack. I mean, it's a localized version of a DDoS attack where you're basically you're plugging into that chip and you're starting to hit the computer with so many requests that the computer's doing nothing but just doing the requests. It can't. Yeah. It's the processor's so busy it can't do anything else. And that's what you do to a website when you want to take it down. You flood it with IP requests, and then the server can't respond and shuts itself down. Right. So you deny. Yeah. That's a denial of service. So I'm watching that going, wow, that's so weird how it's different, but it's the same damn thing. The concept's the same.
So War Games leads to this kind of, in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
That era was definitely...
I love the fact that Chris Knight isn't intimidated. Like there's that point where Kent goes, oh yeah, well, Mighty Mouse beat your in-placement scores by 20 points. And Chris is just like, you did? I bet you think you're pretty smart, don't you? You know, and he's like, he's not jealous or intimidated by that at all, which I think is great for his character. And I think it's a great writing choice in general, right?
Yeah.
Like that stuff doesn't intimidate him. He's not insecure about that at all. Whereas Kent, very insecure about that.
Very insecure about that, yeah. Yeah. Well, the fact that also that Chris knows that Laszlo is smarter than both of them, so
right.
You know,
yeah,
he's got a guy living in his closet who's way smarter than he is. So down in the steam tunnels.
My favorite, again, talking about the lived-in look of this film, and where everywhere you look, something's happening or interesting. Everywhere you look in this movie, there's something interesting. But there's a goldfish tank that's been made out of a water cooler, and dude, if I could get
water
one of those
out of it,
yes,
my wife was like, "That's disgusting."
It's hilarious.
And of course, that fish would be dead. I think it's too small for that fish, but still, It is
No,
brilliant.
no, that's 5 gallon for one fish. 5 gallon would be
Maybe,
all right.
yeah.
Not great, but I think it's tall enough and round enough that you may be able to do it.
It's true. You could make one pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. God, I wouldn't mind having one of those. It'd be dope. It'd be really, really cool. So then at 53 minutes, one of the hottest girls ever on film opens the door. My 80s crush, Deborah Foreman, who I got to meet in person and is one of the nicest people you'll ever want to meet. She's really awesome.
She's barely in this movie, which is part of the thing. You forget.
I think
she's in it more than she is, but she's not. She's like 2 scenes and that's it.
My personal belief is that she had a subplot somewhere and that it got cut out. That's my personal belief. But because it seems like she's got more context and more subtext in her interactions than what the movie's giving me, right? Like she seems to be going back and forth with Chris Knight a little too much for there not to be something else there.
Yeah, my guess was, she was in Valley Girl, and it was like, well,
same.
I can get you in this movie, but we don't have too large of a part for you. But here's this, maybe, I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, and that's Michelle too. But she does get the best line in the movie. If there's, when he says, "If there's ever anything I can do for you, or more to the point to you, please don't hesitate to ask." And she says, "Can you hammer a board with a 6-inch spike through a board with your penis?" And he goes, "Not at the moment." And she goes, "A girl's got to have her standards," and walks off. I'm just like, oh, I'm in love.
Well, we see you're older. Anyway.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. But she retired in 91 apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. She does web. I think she does web design now. Is the last thing I heard she does. She does web design, but she's been doing some other stuff. She was in a movie in 2024.
Yeah. Yeah. She said she was coming out of retirement from acting. That's why she was doing the con circuit and stuff. So we're like, okay,
so awesome. Yeah. I love the studying montage is one of my favorite montages of all time in all film. Mainly because it does exactly what it's supposed to. It's entertaining. It moves the story along, but it also gives you what you need. Yeah. And then in the middle, it stops to give you this wonderful fucking academic nerd freak out where that dude's rubbing his palms. And he just runs out and everybody just kind of goes, all right, I'm going to take his chair. And everybody just moves around and goes back to what they're doing. Like, seen that before. It's so perfect.
It's a movie that is a movie I can watch, many times and enjoy it every time I watch it.
Oh, when they put the transceiver in Kent's braces, they knock him out and put the transceiver in his braces, and stop playing with yourself. And oh my God,
because it comes from God to Jerry to me. So then later on, when God is actually talking to him,
God, my dad.
And then it has the most amazing line, which ties back to one of my favorite lines from Patton Oswalt of any special he's ever done is, "We're science. We're all about coulda, not shoulda." Yeah. And we just made cancer airborne and contagious. You're welcome. We're science. We're all about coulda, not shoulda, right? So in the movie, at one point, Laszlo goes, "What would you use that for?" And he goes, "Making an arm of Swiss cheese. I don't know." And Mitch goes, "Let the engineers figure out a use for it." And all I could think of was, "We're science. We're all about coulda, not shoulda." Like, it's so perfect. Why did you make that?
There was a really good episode of Malcolm Gladwell's Revisionist History. He did a whole thing on the bomber mafia and about napalm. He did a whole episode on that, the scientists who made the napalm and didn't really think about what they were going to use napalm for. And having that realization that I was just doing the chemistry, I wasn't thinking what was going to happen with it when I was done with it.
That's how you get TNT. That's why you have the Nobel Prize. Because the guy who invented TNT was like, "Fuck, I did a really bad thing."
Yeah, we're gonna make up for it as best we can.
I'm gonna make up.
Or the Winchester House, for that matter.
Yep, very true.
So. Yeah, that was There's a board game I like called Unsettled, and you're a bunch of scientists, and basically the rest of the crew got killed, and you end up having to land on planets, and it's kind of console kind of feel. The base game is the base game, but every planet's got its own thing. But the tagline is "Space is hard, try not to die." But the first planet, the sort of tagline at the end was, because you're all just scientists, right? And it says, "We're scientists, so let's go touch stuff." That's what science is about. You're just gonna go touch stuff.
Just gonna
See what happens. Although we know what happens with that if we've seen what was the Aliens prequel?
Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Yeah, Prometheus. And they're wandering around touching things that they probably shouldn't be touching. Like, why would you open your helmet, you moron?
Yeah, that one's like a 50s movie.
Ever.
The dumbest scientist on film, right there.
So my favorite line in this movie, and one that I have quoted since high school, is, you ever have a dream where you're sort of standing in sun god robes on a pyramid with thousands of naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you? No. I'm not the only one that has that dream. It's my favorite fucking non sequitur, out of nowhere. It's so good, dude. It's so good.
It is. Yeah.
I
do the Hollow Film in his pajamas line a lot.
Yep, that's great. There's so many good ones. It's ridiculous. My only problem with this film, my only problem with this film is Laszlo at the end. Like, because he goes from like programming everything to suddenly meeting this girl and showing up with the RV at the end, like when the popcorn house is all done. And it's like, it's just a little too neat, right? Yeah. It's just a touch too neat.
A little too fast.
But I also don't want them to drag the ending out by stopping and showing me him and Patty getting together either. Right? Yeah. But that's my only complaint about it. Literally, everything else about this movie is absolutely fucking spectacular. Yeah.
I love the end.
If you want to talk about a movie that feels like the 80s, this is it.
Yeah, they get the college professor and like the congressman.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, get down, and then the congressman's like, "What are we doing?
What are we doing? All right, yes.
I'll get down.
I'd like to compliment you on your choice of slippers.
Yes,
you're both wearing the fucking bunny slippers.
And I think the young people like it when I get down with them.
Verbally with them.
But I guess they proved that the popcorn would eventually just burn and scorch rather than
Mythbusters. That was one of the things too. It was a great episode of Mythbusters where they did this.
Oh, it's interesting you say that. I read that all that popcorn was it took them over 3 months to pop all that popcorn. Continuous popping. They treated it with a flame retardant so nobody could eat it. Mm-hmm. And so they had people on set shooing the birds and people away from it afterwards, because it would literally poison you if you ate that shit.
Yeah.
But that's another thing that we skipped. That popcorn house and that popcorn house gag, you'll never see it again. It's unique. It's a great gag. Mm-hmm. It's done perfectly. They own that forever and ever.
Yeah. My wife was looking at that house. She's going, that house looks weird. And then she saw the end of it. Oh, okay. That's because it's not. It's just walls. Right, that's all it is. Yeah. And I was like, if you notice, there's like nothing else around this house. It is like in its own space and the cul-de-sac.
Yep.
No houses near it. No, nothing. Right. Yeah. So it's such a great movie. Well, I'm glad we watched it.
I am too. I'm glad you brought it on the show. We've been talking about bringing this one on for a minute, but I feel like I'm glad we waited this long to where we were more comfortable with how we're doing the podcast, because I really had a lot I wanted to say about this movie. It's a personal favorite of mine. It ranks very high in my personal favorites collection.
Yeah.
You got anything else, Marty, you want to talk about with it?
I mean, for further reference, watch Manhattan Project again. That was another movie like this that feels like it birthed the big
series. So good.
Those movies. And then if you want more kind of off the wall stuff, Weird Science was great. Then one of my personal favorites that not a lot of people remember is My Science Project.
Right.
Yes.
Which
all came out.
God, I love that movie.
I love that too.
You've never seen Jedi? That was Dean
I'll have to watch that
Stockwell.
one. It's been about 5 or 6 years, I think, since I've seen that one. It's probably time
that's
for a rewatch.
crap! I just spaced his name.
Dennis Hopper.
Played the bad guy in Speed.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper. Yeah, Dennis Hopper is the teacher, and he goes back in time.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
Really
about
groovy,
that.
man. Yeah, as the science teacher who ends up getting sucked through the portal, and yeah,
That's great.
I love that movie. That was that line. That was Fisher Stevens, like not being offensive as playing an Indian character. And I mean, he's such a great job in.
We're gonna have to bring Short Circuit on the show.
Short Circuit, yeah, but it's very
at the time it was fine and it was acceptable. Yeah. Now it's wildly offensive.
It's also kind of weird. It's one of those things. It's like Vasquez in Aliens.
Yeah.
When you realize that she is not Latina at all, she's a redheaded Irish woman playing a Latina, but she does such a good job playing a Latina that you're like, I wouldn't have known, right?
It took me 20 years to figure out that Vasquez from Aliens is the same woman who answers the phone in Terminator 2 and is Edward Furlong's mom. I was like, oh my God, that's the same person.
She's also in Near Dark. She plays one of the vampires.
That's right. You're right.
Catherine Bigelow.
Yes, you're absolutely right. That's a great movie. We did that one for the show earlier.
Yeah. So it's sort of the same thing. I mean, you forgive the fact that he's not actually an Indian, but you wouldn't be able to pull that off nowadays.
Cultural appropriation would kill you.
I remember Lou Diamond Phillips. The guy asked him about, and he was like, "Hey, I was playing, I did my research. I brought,
Yeah.
Well, for La Bamba, they were giving him grief about.
Yeah.
Well, he said that when he remember when he said that when they flew him out for La Bamba to L.A., Richie's brother picked him up at the airport. Yeah. Richie's older fucking brother, who's also in the movie, picked him up and was like, drove him around. That's where this happened. That's where that happened. You got to make sure this shit's right.
Yeah.
And really made sure that, to impart upon him how important it was to get Richie's story correct. I love La Bamba. It's one of my favorite music movies. It's a really great one. We'll have to bring that one on too. But anyways, we're back
so many choices. Yeah.
What do you think, Drew? What do you give this one?
I would definitely give this one like a 4.5 for me. I think. Yeah, I have to save my 5s for something. I'm not one of those people who just gives out 5s for everything.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't either, but this is a 4.5.
One of my 5s I know is not one of your favorites, but after our last one. But
Well, okay. Sometimes they're different, but this is not a 5. But this is very close. This is very close.
Yeah,
very close. So you say 4.5 also?
Yeah, 4.5.
Yeah, Martha Coolidge just made a hell of a movie here.
Well, we're 4.5s all around for this one.
All right.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep. Nice. Wow, that's the first time I think we've ever agreed with a guest. I think that's the first time you and I have agreed in a very long time too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll say about Real Genius is that the two writers who wrote this thing. So Neil Israel, he wrote Bachelor Party, Moving Violations. He was Bachelor Party, Moving Violations, Look Who's Talking, Police Academy. That's his style of comedy. Look Who's Talking too. And then the other dude, Pat Proft, he wrote things like for the Smothers Brothers. He wrote the Star Wars Holiday Special. Yeah. He wrote Police Academy, Bachelor Party, some other things. So Naked Gun. He wrote Hot Shots.
Oh, seeing it all tied together.
High School High. So it's interesting. Oh, look at that! Scary Movie 3, 4, and 5. There
you go.
Yeah, that interesting.
There's a lot of fascinating stuff.
He just wrote The Kashyyyk Life Day Carol, a live stage reading of the Star Wars Holiday Special TV movie from 2025. Jesus Christ.
Well,
I won't be watching that.
That's your movie next week.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Well, that was fun.
All right.
Again, I know I only gave Top Secret a 3, but still a fun watch. It's just, it's not as fun as it was when I was 11 and the first time I saw it.
No,
And
I agree.
when I compare it to Real Genius, which I saw when I was 12, and I am now 52, and it still holds up this well.
Yeah.
It still makes me laugh.
I laughed
still
at both of them a
really
lot,
enjoy
but I
it.
laughed a lot more at Real Genius.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
well, thanks for having me on, guys, to talk
Yeah.
about these ones. 'Cause
Yeah, well, we're probably going to have you on. I get the feeling you're going to eventually end up being like a regular guest every season.
I am fine with that. I've
Start
got lots of
thinking about
movies
what
that
the
I have
next movie
opinions
is.
about. So, you know.
Well, I mean, we definitely, I think you need to just kind of be our, Mar, we can talk about this, but if you're interested, you just kind of be our permanent Val Kilmer guest, our talking Kilmer guest.
That's
right.
That's fine with me.
Until we just get through all the Kilmer movies and we're like, all right, we've had enough Kilmer movies.
Yeah, we've run out.
Mix it up too.
There's a bunch of them. Yeah, we can.
We
We can mix it up. But
I was watching reaction videos, which I don't usually do, but I got down this hole of people watching the scene in Tombstone where Johnny Ringo and Doc Holliday have their fight, and it's so fun to watch. Some people go like, "Doc, no, what are you doing? You should be in bed, man." And then he shoots him in the head. He's, come out.
I love that one.
It looks like somebody just stepped on your grave. He's so good in that movie.
It's such a fun movie to watch. It's the only other reaction I've really enjoyed is watching people watch The Red Wedding from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Because if you haven't read the book and you're not prepared for that, it's a whole thing, man. Like it's a whole
apparently
thing.
this week it's been all the people who have watched Last of Us but never played the video game.
Mm.
And yeah.
Really?
They don't drag that I'm trying not to be spoilery. I haven't watched it, but I know enough about it to I don't know if you guys played the video game or not, but they don't drag that out for the whole season. They do it right up front.
Wow. Okay.
It's like,
well, and part 2 is getting ready to come out of that too, right?
That's what I'm saying. Season 2 just started. That's the thing.
Oh, it did.
So stuff that happened in the second video game.
Gotcha.
Anyway. Anyway, there we go.
Well, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I just finished doing a play I was in, but that was a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's just doing stuff in my store, trying to survive this whole tariff thing, and since that affects pretty much most of my product.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, tariffs!
Yeah, most of the board games come out of China one way or the other, and trying to explain to people that don't understand this sort of thing, like why this is not a good idea and why we can't just manufacture everything in the U.S. because just nothing else. The machines are made in China, and that doesn't help either. So,
What are you talking
anyway,
about?
I don't want to get into that.
Right.
Just turn on the fucking factories that make the thing
Make
and let's
the board
get going.
games. Sure, yeah, that's how that works.
Turn on the shuttered board game factories. They just need a coat of paint.
Yes.
And we'll be up and running in a couple months.
All the hundreds of board game factories that we have in this country.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, I haven't got anything major. So. All right. Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you as usual.
It's always good.
Yeah.
As always.
As always.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Well, that was episode 10 of season 3. We'll be back next week with 2 more movies, and you know what those are because you listened to last week's show. We don't know what they are.
That's true.
Oh,
all right. You want to go out of here? You want to go out of here on a quote?
This is not Mel Torme. Albert Potato.
What novelty dog poop?
Yes.
Souvenir.
You just do latrine every time.
All right, guys. See you soon.
All right.
Don't miss an episode. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, like us on YouTube, or give us a 5-star rating on the podcast app of your choice.